If I speak human or angelic languages, but do not have love, I am a sounding gong or a clanging cymbal. If I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have all faith so that I can move mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love does not envy. It's not boastful. Is not conceited. Does not act improperly. It's not selfish. Is not provoked. And does not keep a record of wrongs. Love finds no joy in unrighteousness, but rejoices in truth. It bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, and endures all things. Love never ends. These are the hands of your best friend, young and strong and full of love for you. Hands that are holding on to yours on your wedding day. And as you promise to love each other today, tomorrow, and forever. This 4th of July, we take pause from our Independence Day celebration to witness a unique moment in the lives of Ben and Marissa. Today, they join their lives in holy matrimony. Today, they begin a new chapter in the story of their lives. A wedding day is often a day when couples miss family members no longer with them. We know that they're here with us in spirit. I never had the opportunity to meet Rissa's brother, Ryan. But through Rissa, I know that he would have loved Ben and he'd have supported this marriage 100%. And even though he's not here physically, he's a part of the foundation that makes Rissa the person that she is today. We cherish the memories of Ryan and all the others who live on in our hearts. Marriage. Marriage is what brings us together today. Marriage. That blessed arrangement, that dream within a dream. True love will follow you forever. So treasure your love. Treasure it always. From talking with Ben and Rissa, well, from knowing Ben since he was born, and Rissa for the last 3 years or so, and then talking with them before the wedding, I know that they both love the Lord. And they love one another. And if you hadn't already guessed it, they're really fond of stories. Storytelling is important to them. Ben was born in Mississippi, nearly 1,350 miles away, and I think maybe somewhere between 5 and 10 feet above sea level. Marissa was born here in the beauty of these mountains at an elevation of nearly 9,000 feet. Worldly odds of them ever even meeting are absolutely, totally, and in all other ways, inconceivable. Yet, here we are. God has brought them together for one another to continue their story and His. Storytelling is a part of being human. It is, and always has been, the way we've shared ideas, memories, and emotions. We learn best through stories. We remember stories. And when our lives on this earth end, we live on in the stories that others tell about us. I think we've all read a book before seeing the movie. And when we get to that scene where it looks like the hero or the heroine is defeated and all is lost, we know that everything's going to be all right. We have confidence. Ben, And Marissa, God views your life with the same confidence. He's not only read your story, he wrote it.
Gosh, we sure look nice. What are we dressed up for again? Marissa, from the moment I saw you dancing that night at our senior homecoming, I knew that you would be a special part of my life story. God only knew how important you'd become. Together, we've learned to trust completely, to laugh when it's hard, and to hope when the other can't find it in them. We've learned to point one another back towards God when we become overconfident or find ourselves lost without Him. We've learned to grit our teeth, roll up our sleeves, and pull one another through life's challenges. But most importantly, you've taught me to see the world through your eyes. Eyes that widen with constant amazement at God's beauty. Eyes that smile in compassion. Eyes that embrace all in love, regardless of circumstance or past. Thank you for teaching me to see. When I look to our future, I cannot believe how blessed we are to have found one another and to be going on the adventures that we are together. And yet I am not naive enough to believe that these adventures will not be without disagreement or hardship. And it is for this reason that I give these vows now. I promise to treat our marriage as a verb and not a noun, something we will actively participate in and not just have. I promise to choose you to struggle and succeed with, to fight and make up with, to love and grow old with. I promise to never stop telling stories with you and to never forget to live our own. I promise to never stop striving to be the man that you prayed for and to lead our family as we walk in faith. I promise to be the man your father always hoped that you'd find and the man that your brother would have wanted me to be. I promise to love you, ceaselessly, earnestly, and relentlessly, to cherish you above all but our relationship with Christ, and to love you as selflessly as Christ loves His church. I can't promise you an easy life, but I can promise you the greatest adventure you will ever have. I cross my heart.
Can I kiss him now?
I feel like I could almost say your husband-in-law.
That's a tough act to follow. Brendan, it isn't easy being the best thing that ever happened to you.
Don't imagine it is.
I'm just teasing. You know how emotional I am, so you know that there's no way that I'm going to get through this without cracking some jokes or crying. But just know that these are the most joyful tears I've ever cried. One of the stories that I usually tell people is from our first date. It was January 2020, and the new Star Wars movie had just come out. I made the 3-hour drive one way from Nathrop to Parker for the sole purpose of seeing this movie with you. Unfortunately, on the way I got lost. My GPS wasn't working and I had very little cell phone service. I was barely able to call you with tears rolling down my face. I told you I was sorry, but I was going to have to miss the movie. I was lost. For the first time, but definitely not the last. You said, "It's okay, we'll figure it out." You asked me to describe my surroundings and you found out where I was. We spent the next 30 minutes on the phone while you navigated me to you. I remember being on the phone thinking, wow, he's so kind, sweet, and patient. What a catch. From then on, our relationship just grew. You became my greatest friend and then my greatest love. People always say that cheesy line for their vows. If you would have told me 3 years ago, I'd be here in front of our family and God declaring my love for you, I would have been shocked. But the truth is, if you had told me 3 years ago that we'd be here, I would have said, I knew it! Because I knew that the best friend that I had was going to be my best friend for the rest of my life. He was going to be my husband, the father of my children, my everything. I knew he would be there for me till the end of the line. We've had a lot of adventures in the past 3 years. We've been there for each other for the good times and the bad. I promise that I will never let our relationship weaken. To always be your motivational raptor. To someday be the best mom I can be for our children. I promise to share one love, one lifetime, to spend the rest of my life making you laugh. And I promise to always be the best version of myself. Words can't describe how excited I am to marry you. I've waited 1,158 days for this exact moment. I can't wait to see what God has planned for us and to stumble through this next chapter with you. My best friend, my adventure buddy, my sleepy stick. I love you. That's all I got.
It's not in the script, but I think if you wanted to applaud, now would be a good time. Today, Ben and Marissa have chosen to braid 3 strands together into a single cord. Each strand has a significant meaning. The white strand represents God and His majesty. The blue strand represents Ben and his life. The red strand represents Marissa and her life. In braiding these 3 strands together, Ben and Marissa are demonstrating that their marriage is more than a joining of 2 lives together. It's unity with God as well. They have chosen to allow God to be at the center of their marriage, woven into every aspect of it. As stated in Ecclesiastes, 2 are better than 1. A cord of 3 strands is not easily broken. Brendan Joel Anderson, will you take Marissa Catherine Henson to be your lawfully wedded wife?
I do.
Marissa Catherine Henson, will you take Brendan Joel Anderson to be your lawfully wedded husband?
I do.
Ben and Marissa, since you've consented together in holy matrimony and have pledged yourself to each other by your solemn vows and by the giving of rings, and have declared your commitment of love before God and these witnesses, I now pronounce you husband and wife in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Those whom God hath joined together, let no man separate. Ben, you make this your bride. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to introduce to you for the very first time, Second Lieutenant and Mrs. Anderson. Fly, Ben and Marissa, fly.
Marissa and Brendan, Aunt Rissa, and Uncle Neil. I should have known we were in for a lifetime of trouble when we first went camping together. I should have known that anyone who at 2 a.m. would join in on Rissa's crazy "I'm not tired" antics and keep all of us up even longer, just being goofy and laughing hysterically, would end up becoming a good friend and even better, a brother. One of the perks of having a matron of honor is that we do have some experience with this whole marriage thing. To stand here and say that your future from here on out will be nothing but sunshine and good times would be setting you up for great disappointment. There will be times that will seem impossibly hard, and times that make it seem easier than breathing. You'll have to make difficult decisions and choices that work for you as a couple and as a new family. Building a family isn't easy, but the labor and outcome is definitely worth it. Neo. I want you to know that Ryan would have loved getting to know you and all your hobbies and work. And then I'm sure the two of you playing Blitz would have been hilarious. I'm proud to have you as a brother and as an uncle to my kiddos. Marissa. I want you to know that Ryan would be so proud of the woman you've become and the wife and mother I'm sure you're going to be. And I hope you can always feel him watching over you, no matter how far away from us you may be. And I hope you know that I'm proud of you too. I'd like to raise a toast to the groom, to the bride, from your sister, who's always by your side. May the only distance to ever come between you be physical. May your tears of laughter and joy far outweigh your tears of pain and sadness. May this new family of yours be always a little bit Anderson, a little bit Hanson, and entirely Neo and Rissa. And may you truly live happily ever after. We love you.
Good evening, everyone. Before I start, I just want to mention that my family often characterizes me as a man of few words. But buckle up, because I wrote a lot of words for this. The dictionary defines love, as well as a bunch of other words. It's a dictionary, that's what it does. But today is not about a dictionary. Today is about these two, Brennan and Rissa. For those of you who don't know me, I am Brennan's older brother. My name is Ryan, just like Rissa's brother. For some reason, I'm often mistaken as being Brennan's younger brother, or perhaps even his good friend that just walks home with him every day. I think it says a lot about a person whenever he chooses his brother to be his best man. And for me, that means that you trust me well enough to speak about you without embarrassing you too much. And for that, I'm really honored. But from stories that my family has told over the years, we instantly became best friends. One of those instances that I can think of would be my first memory of you, where you're hanging onto the back of my shirt as I walk around the house. And I probably even helped you learn how to walk by doing that. You'd follow me everywhere and want to be everywhere that I was. And from that moment on, I knew that you loved me like no one else. And that brotherly love is reciprocal. I love you, dude. When I graduated high school, I had a Dr. Seuss book at my graduation party where people could write like little messages for me. And Brennan wrote, "You're my best friend and my hero." I know I seem like I know a lot and act like I'm your older brother sometimes. But the truth is, I always learn more from you and look up to you. I learned to walk from you. Oh, how about that? How to care and how to love beyond what I thought was possible. I don't mean for this to come off as creepy, but I think about you every day. You inspire me. I've gotten to watch you go through it all, and I'm really proud of you. Rissa. See, now I'm on Rissa. Although I've only known you for 3 years, you have made a huge impact on my life. I knew fairly quickly that there was something different about you just based on the way that Brennan would light up when he talked about you, and this is before your relationship was even official. Today I'm proud to finally be able to officially call you my sister. You have so many amazing qualities. You're smart, funny, a hard worker, and you have a huge heart for serving and helping people. I'm sure that it was a long time ago that Rissa took my place as Brennan's best friend. But I'm honored to officially pass that title from Brennan's best friend from the beginning of his life to Brennan's best friend to the end of his life. I could not imagine a better person to take that place. The way that you and Brennan talk with each other, joke with each other, and love each other is something that I really hope that I can find one day. To Brennan and Rissa, I wish you a life of love and adventure, I love you guys. It's Brennan and Marissa.